Okay, good. So now we're going to start creating our first skill. Just to everyone at home who is looking at it and not live on the webinar, you should have been at the webinar because then you would have caught the first part where I showed off all my skills. So I think that's what I'm going to do in the future. I'm going to start all the recordings halfway through. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I'm going to create a skill. So I literally open up just my, I'll show my screen. So I open up my Claude, and then what I can do is I can just go and I can say, sorry, I just want to stop this quickly. Hold on, I'm going to share this again because I want to share a different window. I have a window here prepared. Okay, so what I have here is I can merely go in here and I can say / or / command. I can say skill creator. And I can actually call it just like that. I can call it just like that. I can hit enter. And it will just pull up the skill creator for me, even though it's not going to have any context about what I want to create. So let's see what happens if I give it 0 context. Okay. So now it says, I can help you create a new skill or improve an existing one. And to get started, tell me what should this skill enable Claude to do, the task or capability? When should it trigger? What phases of context should cause Claude to use it? And what is the expected output? That is very important also. What is the expected output? So you must know when you're creating a skill, what do you expect back? Do you expect text back? As in, I just want you to, like I just did with the Steve Jobs skill I just had, is do you just want some text back? Or, and this is where I use skills also a lot, is do you want an action? Should the result be send an email, create a calendar, send a Slack message, update my HubSpot? And there I see my screen sharing is gone again. Let me get this. I wonder why Claude does this. And what is the expectation of the skill? So what I'm going to do is I already created something here as well where I've already created the text, the prompt for this. So I created this where I say, whenever I call the skill, it must mock up a landing page about the current conversation I'm having, whatever that might be. The landing page colors should be in the specific colors I assigned, namely, and I gave it the colors there. Quick life hack. I'm going to show you a cool way to set up color palettes in a second. And whenever I mention ice cream landing page or call it with a / command, that's when should it trigger. And a landing page and an HTML file I can upload to the server. That's the outcome that I want. So just to show you quickly what I did there, this color palette is like a color palette that looks like it's got all these nice pink and blue shades that looks like summer ice cream. So that's just because I went here. Let me quickly show you a nice life hack here. So I'm going to do this. For anyone who wants to have a quick color palette, you should go to this website called Coolers, and it opens a color palette, and you can just hit spacebar on here. And every time I hit spacebar, it gives me a different color palette. So I'm just hitting spacebar and it runs through color palettes. And if I say, let's say I like this one, I can lock it and it gives me palettes that work with that one. And I can say, okay, then I like that. And it just does those 3 until I find something that I like. Just a nice little life hack for anyone who always can't decide on colors. So what I did earlier today when I prepped for this is I just grabbed the first colors I got, and it reminded me of a little ice cream shop. So I'm going to go back to Claude over here. Okay. So I'm going to, yeah, and then I do this, and I just give it some commands here. This sometimes takes a little bit, takes some time. So what it will then create here is it will sometimes ask me some more questions to get clarifying questions of where I would want this to go, what is the outcome of this. And you will see that if you create this skill inside Claude, it's available inside Claude globally. That means it will be available on all my conversations that I will have going forward from here. It will be available. And here's the big caveat. If I create a skill inside Claude Desktop, where I am now, it will not be available if I am coding with Claude in VS Code. If I want that, I must create the skill as an MD file and drop it in my Claude skills root folder. Okay, here we go. Okay, what should the / command be called? Okay, let's just call it ice cream landing page. What should the landing page actually contain? Hero and summary of the conversation topic, key points as sections. Yeah, let's just do that one for now. Should test cases be set up to verify this skill works well? Yeah, I mean, let's do a few test prompts. It can be interesting. So this is now, I'm using the skill, create skill in Claude. Okay, create a workspace for drafting a new skill. Okay. So yeah, just on, okay, yes, it's creating a markdown file. While it's doing that, just on the VS Code side, I will show you quickly. If you want to create a skill from scratch with your own like template where you can take a markdown file and either let Claude Desktop ingest that or use it in VS Code. I'll show you a template I have here. And if you want that template, just reach out to me on LinkedIn and I will send it to you, but I'll show it to you before the end of this call. And I will share my screen again. Okay. Okay. So here it says the draft's ready. Here's the shape of it. The trigger, so that's what Claude will listen for, saying ice cream landing page, any phrasing. That means that I can just allude to it as well. Palette, 5 hex codes, content, euro, and tagline, output, an inline preview, in chat, and self-contained HTML file. That's the output. And one guardrail I added. Let's see what it added. If the conversation topic is sensitive or serious, it keeps the palette but drops the cutesy tone. Okay. What we are going to do now is I want to see, okay, now let's test it. Okay, I will run it against the actual conversation, making a skill in the first test case. Want me to also test it against one or two quick made-up conversations? I'm going to say no, just test once against this convo. Let's see what it does. So now it's testing the skill. I always like testing my skills. I know there's that a few people are. I saw a T-shirt the other day where someone said, "I test and prod." It's like, yeah. So yeah, okay. So it's running the skill now. It's testing it. Branded color palette. What would be interesting is if it overrides, because I have a Delta design system that's also loaded already in our Claudes. I would like to. I think it will override it because the skill overrides that. And I did test it earlier today. Okay, new skill, freshly scooped. And this is the color palette. This is definitely the color palette I chose. Okay. Okay, so here it throws out a quick landing page, and yeah, and with the color palette that I just pulled from Coolers earlier. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go over here. I'm going to say I'm going to go to my previous. I want to go to my previous conversation. I'm going to say the barbershop. And remember the barbershop we had here? I'm going to say, make me a barbershop landing page with this idea in the style of ice cream landing page. So now it's going to call that skill. Let's see if it actually pulls it in here. Checking front-end design skill. Oh, wait a sec. I must save the skill to my skills list, please. I don't think I did this. No, I didn't. Stop here. So I just want to quickly go back to here. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to go here. Anything you'd like to change before I package this as a skill file? I'm going to say no, all good. Package into my skills. That's very important. So it bolts it into Claude. Okay. There's another caveat here where what you should not do here is do not take a .skill file, copy it to your Claude folder, and think that .skill file is now available in VS Code. It won't be. VS Code, when it wants to pull skills, it wants an MD file, just by the way. Okay, investigate a script output. It supports an output directory argument. So if you want to put this into VS Code, this won't work, the .skill. Okay, so here it says ice cream landing page, and here's the skill, and it uses those colors, and it already has a set of a little bit of code in there, what to build. And remember, it asked me for this. So it now puts all of this into a nice skill. Output requirements, inline preview, downloadable file. Remember, it wants to know what it should give me. And then I can say save skill. This is very important. Okay, skill saved. So now, if I close this, and it says here skill saved. So if I close this and I go back to my barbershop and I go in unpredictable barbershop and I go over here, there should be an extra skill now, ice cream landing page. So that what we just created is now a skill. So now globally in any conversation I have, even if the conversation was created afterwards, I can say refer to the, and I'm going to call a slash command, ice cream landing page, skill, and build me a landing page. I can refer to the slash command, or I can just, I will share my screen again. I can refer to the slash command, or I can just allude to it as well. Okay, here we go. Let's see over here. Okay, consulted ice cream landing page skill. So it did load the skill. Let's see remember the output I said should be an HTML file. So let's see what happens here. Barbershop landing page. I love how the ice cream look does not at all fit to the barbershop brand. Okay. Nice. I like what I did here. Walk in, sit down, find out. So, I love your sign here, kind of. Um, yeah. First cuts a dare, second one's a real test. Kind plan. I also like the fact that it has already created a name here as well. It's okay. Here's going to. Okay, here's the landing page. So the landing page is here. It's an HTML file. It threw me out an HTML file that I can now actually just say download and open. So I can just create. I can take this HTML file and just upload it to any domain, and then it would be live. So this is now how I created a skill inside any conversation that I have. What I do want to show you now is how to create a skill that has got some form of action behind it. So what I want to do is, and I'm just going to wing this one. I'm going to create a skill. I'm going to say, I did test a risk one first. I'm going to say, I'm going to create I'm going to use some of my connectors. Before I do that, I just quickly want to show you connectors are, let me just quickly check I see there's a question. I will just check if I'm going to take it now or later. Okay, yeah, I will adjust this later. I'll take that question at the end. So yeah, what I can do here is, I'm just going to do this. So it's very important when you have a skill, and this is important, when you have a skill that is required to do actions, you must configure your connectors. So, and this happens over here. So you can say over here, you can see that I have two accounts here, a Delta account and a personal account. And then under I have like different here. I have my settings over here, which is very important. So you will see my connectors over here. And this is very important. So your skill the connector must already be connected for your skill to be able to fire off, because otherwise, if that connector is not there, every time your skill fires, it's going to essentially say, I'm not connected, and it won't run through everything else. So we can now see here, my Slack is connected, and yeah, you can see I've connected my Slack, my Google Drive's connected, my calendar is connected, my Gmail's connected, my GitHub is connected, and Ava is an internal tool that we've built at the Delta. That's also a custom web connector. So yeah, I've given it a lot of power. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm just going to close this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a skill. Let's see. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I must now be very careful here. I want to create a skill where you scan my last 3 unread emails, and if something looks critical, so it's going to use some judgment, then I want you to send a Slack message to Veronica, which is someone who works with us at the Delta. She keeps everything together here, by the way. If she makes sure the Delta is running from day to day. Send a Slack message to Veronica and inform her. It's a very basic skill. So Now I didn't use the slash command. I just said I want to create a skill. So let's look at this. I also checked my last 3 unread mails, so it's nothing crazy. So let's create this skill. I will share my screen again. Okay, check skill created process. Okay, what should count as critical email? Urgent deadlines, anything marked as high priority by the sender. I'm just going to say use your judgment on tone and content. I just want to make it easy for now. How should the Slack message reach Veronica? Direct message. Let's look at this. It should now pull both. It should now pull both connectors to actually do this skill. If this thing fires, she's going to get some weird DMs tomorrow morning. Draft the skill file. Okay. Okay, here we go. Oh wow, it's already ready to test it. I was like, I normally try to test it before I just say save skill. So here's the skill. Pulls your 3 most recent unread mails via Gmail, judges each for criticality, tone, and content. And if anything qualifies, it DMs Veronica with Slack. A couple of behavior notes back in. It will show you what it flagged. Multiple critical emails get bundled into one DM. Click save skill on the file drive. I'm going to say, let's test it first. Test it first now. Let's see if it actually pulls the connections. Okay. Finding tools. There it pulls my Gmail because it is connected. And specific email thread. Just check. Guest update for applied AI. Cool. New registration. Critical for webinar. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. I've sent this from my personal mail to here. And yeah, because I know that nothing will be shared here. And please don't spam my personal mail. I won't answer it. And yeah, when we get it set to her, yes, go ahead. Okay. Cool. Find tools, search users. Okay, there it goes to Slack. So it's now connecting my Slack. Send. Veronica's got the DM now. As easy as that. And the test work, the 2 Luma registration decline emails were correctly skipped. Yeah, it's just Luma registrations and critical for the webinar. Email got flagged and escalated. So yeah, so it works. And then I can just say save skill over here. So then what it will do is every time I call this skill inside any conversation, it will look at my email. If there's something critical, it will immediately send a DM to Veronica. So yeah, so that is it from creating skills inside Claude. What I would like to do is, if you guys have any Q&As, you can do that now. While I'm waiting for your questions, I'm going to share screen for just to show you how a typical Claude skill looks like if you want to create it from scratch. Like if you don't want to use the skill creator from Claude, the nice thing is if you create it from scratch and you use it in VS Code, it can actually help you code. You can create coding skills where it helps you code. And for anyone who is delving into this new age of loop engineering, you would want to do this. So because you're essentially getting skills that prompt Claude to prompt itself and like running in these loops. So I'm quickly going to do that. Stop sharing. I just want to show you over here. So, okay. File, open recent. I'm just going to open this over here. Okay, so this is a template that I have for creating a good Claude skill that can be used in either VS Code or in your I'm just going to approve this one. Yes, that's a good question. I'm quickly going to share you just this. So I'm just going to show my VS Code. So I love building in VS Code. So here you can see is a MD file that is essentially just a template for how a good skill looks like. So, and you can literally take this template, copy it, save as, or copy this as your master and save as new ones, and just fill in whatever you want. So it's your skill name over here. It must always have a name and a description. The thing that is important in the description, it's very important here, is that this one, the description, as well as what this does, is very important, because that's how Claude is going to decide when to call this. Like when you allude to this or when you allude to that, that's how it's going to decide when to call this. Then steps, remember I said there's step 1, step 2. I like it when there's steps. It's this one, step 1, second step, third step, because reason. I like that. And then format and output. Remember I said in that, where Claude also said, what's the output? Should it be an action? Should it be an HTML file? Should it be a PDF? Should it be an MD file? Should it just be text? What's the output look like? What does it do? The tone, structure, should there be a heading, table, whatever. Then always do the following, blah, blah, blah. And then I like this one, never do this. And then these are the two that I really like, put in my skills, is what does good look like, as well as what does not good look like. And if you're unsure, what to do when you're unsure. So I really like this template. It's actually quite basic, but it can create very, very intricate skills with this as well. If you do want this template, this MD file, I'm more than happy to send it to you. Reach out to me on LinkedIn and I will just send it to you. So yeah, to go back to, I'm just going to stop sharing here just to answer some of the questions. Someone asked that, is it possible to include a skill that it is only allowed to override things if I allow it manually? Speaking not to give all rights access. Yeah, 100%. So in your skill, you can say always ask for permission first. So that can be one of the things where that's step 1, step 2, step 3. You can there say a thing of like how to get authorization. Be very clear where at the end of your steps, let's say step 1, ask me for permission before going to step 2. Step 2, and then at the end, let's say 2.1, 2.2, ask me for confirmation. So it will literally like ask, it won't run through the whole thing in one stage. So it will ask you for permission first. So yes, 100%. And I also like that, that human in the loop thing. Then Gordana asked, how can I get my daily to-do skill to draft my to-do list on a daily basis, including the saved and done to-dos from yesterday? Cool. I've actually done that. So what I like to do is, let me show you. I can't actually show you my to-do list. There's a lot of quite sensitive things in there that I don't want to share on a public space. But basically, what I do is my to-do skill, essentially on the daily, I can let it fire off automatically. So I have a scheduled task and the scheduled task fires my skill every day, which is my to-do list. And then what it does is it writes to a Slack canvas. And that Slack canvas says today's date, here's the to-dos. And as I go through the to-dos and I say to Claude, I've done this, I've done this, I've not done this, it actually marks item as done, 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 or not done. So at the end of the day, that Slack canvas gets updated. At the end of the day, it would say, these are done, these are not done. And then, but I also add my skill, so it also checks the previous 7 days, what has been carrying over. So it shows you which ones are still not done, which are carrying over. And the cool thing is, if it carries over for a few days, it really starts like being super annoyed with you if you're carrying things over. So use the Slack canvas to actually have today with the date, and then it's got the what is done, what is still not done, and the next day and the next day. Gordana, I know you're here on campus. Come say hi to me on the 3rd floor. I'll show you my canvas, how that looks like. And then what I did is in Claude, what I then did is I had my skill, because skills can call other skills. And that's the thing I also want to talk about in one of the next webinars, is where we talk about plugins. Now, a plugin is a collection of skills. So I have multiple skills and multiple connectors and everything. So what my one plugin then does is, at the end of the day or at the end of the week, I will check. It looks at all my to-dos and everything that I have done. And it just, again, one step back, it pulls all my to-dos from all my Slack channels, all my meeting notes where there was a to-do assigned to me, and my emails. So it creates my to-do list automatically from those 3 sources. And then after a week, it essentially looks at all my to-dos that came out of my meetings, my Slack channels, my emails, and everything. And I have a skill there where if it sees a pattern where I can automate something, where I say, so one of my instructions is, which group of these tasks or to-dos are almost kind of the same and can be solved by writing a skill. So it's a skill that identifies more skills that will make the to-dos go faster. So it's like this iterating loop. I hope any of that made sense now. So yeah, that is it from me though. I will, however, can I get an indication? Yeah, I want to get an indication of what are things that people want to know more about Claude specifically. I will post about this webinar on my LinkedIn tomorrow. Please respond there and let me know what are some things you want me to go through or want me to cover. If it's something I can't do, I will get a guest on and the guest will show us. So please either respond on LinkedIn tomorrow when I post about this, or you'll see that there's normally an email that goes out the day after the webinar that asks for feedback. So also please give me feedback if this is terrible or I can do something to improve. Please do that. I would love that from all of you. And yeah, I would love to hear what you want to hear more about. So yeah. If there's no other questions, then I think we are right on time. And I hope all of you can now create like amazing skills and create skills that create skills that is skills inside skills. I really hope, and I hope all of you now only work 1 hour a day from here. So yeah, that's it from me. And I'm just going to stop the recording.